Let's clap it up. Welcome to, hold on now, episode 85
What up?
of the Five-A-Side podcast. That's like once your EAFC players had a really high overall. Episode 85 of the Five-A-Side podcast.
What up, Josh?
Who am I joined by today?
What's going on, guys? I'm back
Fresh from
UK.
London.
A lot of energy, a lot of good vibes.
As you should.
Seb's here. What's going on?
Word.
Yo, what's the word? Is Josh.
Yes, sir.
Josh.
Gabriel.
Kendrick.
A lot to get into. Before we get into any question of the week, Champions League final, blah, blah, blah. Seb, you are fresh from Wembley.
Yes.
You have an unbelievable
Yes.
story to tell us.
Yeah.
Crazy footage. I was like, Seb, wait, are you at the game? Shows me the Sunderland fans.
Yeah.
Just break it down, bro. Talk about it.
I think to be honest, I have been a hater of the Prem. I can admittedly say that.
Wow.
But the lower leagues in England, that shit is cool. That shit is some cool stuff. The reason why is because I feel as though the Prem, unfortunately, has lost a little bit of that true fandom because the clubs are so massive and so global that at the end of the day, it's a lot of tourism at the stadiums. The reason why what I experienced this weekend was so incredible was because it was actually people from Sunderland, from Wimbledon, from Bristol, from Walsall, from all these random small towns and counties in England who traveled in massive numbers to Wembley every single day to watch their team get a promotion. So we made a mini documentary called 72 Hours, 3 days, 3 finals, which was essentially documenting the 3 days that Wembley hosts 3 consecutive promotion finals. So it starts with a championship. It was between Sunderland and Sheffield United. Sunderland won in incredible fashion. They were losing for most of the game, ended up scoring in the 70th minute and then the 91st minute to make it back to the Premier League after something like 15 years. And I was sitting. Actually, the cool thing was I went with Raul from Mexico, who was doing a lot of like the iPhone filming footage.
Yeah.
And so he and I had split roles. Every single day we picked a side that we wanted to sit on. I picked the winning side every single day.
That's hilarious.
So it was unbelievably like it was just so much fun to like be. My seat was always in the center of like Wembley
Chaos.
Stadium reads like Wembley on the sides. I was in, if you can imagine like how Wembley is written on like the rounded part of the north side of the stadium and also on the south side. I was sitting in the E. So like WEMBLE, like I was sitting in the E.
Yeah.
And I got to be with the Sunderland fans. I got to be with the Charlton fans. The coolest story that I'll tell you guys. Do you guys know? Have you guys ever heard of a guy named John Green? He wrote a book.
Generic name.
Yeah.
He
That's
wrote
tough.
a book called The Fault in Our Stars, which
Okay.
was a massive book in the U.S. He also
The
did.
Fault in Our Stars?
Yes.
Oh, I know
Oh,
that.
yeah,
Yeah, for
He
sure.
also did Crash Course History.
Yes.
Okay.
So he's the white dude with the brother.
Yeah,
who does Crash Course
yeah.
History.
Oh shit.
I look to my right.
Nah.
I hear a voice. Like, wait, I've heard this voice. It's John Green,
That's
who
so
happens
funny.
to be
insane.
a majority stakeholder in AFC Wimbledon,
Wow, who
And
got
so I-
promoted?
who got promoted. So I got to sit next to him, his brother, and his dad. They were drunk out of their minds the entire
As they
game,
should be.
super stressed. I've never seen a white man pull his hair out like that, but the guy actually pulled clubs of his hair out because he was telling me there are players on his field that I have financially funded because the club was like running out of money, and
Yeah.
so I helped them out to buy some of the players on the field. And so it was really cool to like watch him. Like he was like wearing a hat, he was trying to be all low key, but the guy was so happy afterwards.
Amazing.
The Sunderland fans as well. It meant so much to them. So yeah, I think it was a real testament to how lower league soccer can actually be really, really pure and beautiful.
Or the most pure and beautiful.
Dude,
Listen.
60,000 people for a 4th division match was ridiculous.
And you should break it down to the Americans what the levels of promotion that you
Yeah.
just witnessed were, because a lot of people might not.
So how it works is in England, the EFL is the box of leagues underneath the Prem. So you have the Prem, which is the first tier. Then you have the EFL, which is 3 leagues, 3 divisions that are essentially considered one league. So you have the Championship, which is the second tier in England, League 1, which is the third tier, and League 2, which is the fourth tier.
Similar to USL.
Similar to USL. It's a bit confusing in terms of how they name it. So
The
from now
names are
on,
crazy.
I'll refer to them as the second division, third division, and fourth division.
Yeah.
The way that the playoffs work for the EFL is Saturday, you have the second division promotional game. And this game is known as the most expensive game in football.
Break that
Because
down.
if you win this game, you make it to the Prem. If you make it to the Prem, every single player on that field, when the final whistle blew, when Sunderland won, automatically became more than a millionaire.
Yeah.
Automatically, just
Multi.
contractually.
Yeah.
Contractually.
Incredible.
And Sunderland as a club won $227 million in that moment when the final whistle blew.
insane.
So it is by far the most important and expensive game in football because winning that match grants you financial security for at the very least 3 years as a club.
It's huge.
Proportionally, it's very similar though in terms of like budget for a league, for a Division 3 side going to Division 2, a Division 4 side going to Division 3. Because the amount of money that exists in English football, it's proportionally like incredibly beneficial to be promoted, and so those games mean everything. So that's why it's so well.
For the
fine.
bro. For the cross sport comparison, it's just crazy. Dude, it's wild. It's just crazy to think of like all you have in, let's say the NBA, it's the playoffs right now. You have NBA and you have the G League.
Yeah.
It's like you have the G League and then the H League and then the I League and then it just keeps going. But the passion remains the same. That's why it's so unbelievable.
Essentially, like,
and it's in every country too.
If I had to compare this, it would be like if you had the NBA and you had like a small town like, I don't know, like
Which town
Syracuse.
Seb going shit
I'll
on?
say Syracuse.
Nah, it's like it's a town
that
that's
Seb going
it's a
shit
town
on.
that's a bit out the way, but like culturally is very, very important. So I would honestly say like in Oakland, like if Oakland had a team.
Bro, they got the Warriors.
No. Yes. I was talking about soccer.
man.
I was talking about.
Oh, it's talking about okay, bad.
But that's a good point if we're staying within
Yeah, 'cause-
basketball.
yeah.
So
But still, within soccer, sure.
no.
Think on your
You gotta go
right.
lower. Syracuse, bro.
Syracuse, I don't think is as culturally well known within the U.S.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying if you go to the 4th division, you got to go to. So you got to get a little random now.
All right.
Yeah. Anyways, point being,
Let me see if I can come up with it. How do you feel about Baltimore?
Holy
That's
fuck,
way
that's
higher
a
up.
big city.
Yeah.
It's a big city.
bro, we're talking 4th division. I'm trying to get you like little
Talking
100
about-
cases.
We talking about Roanoke, Virginia, bro.
See, I don't even know what's going on over there. Richmond, Virginia.
Wait, but
I like Richmond. Richmond's a good shot.
Richmond,
Richmond's a good shot. Richmond's a good shot.
Word.
So it would be like if in basketball you had all these different tiers in the NBA, and then you had the second division with cities that currently don't have basketball teams, like a Baltimore, like a Santa Fe, like I don't know, like a Providence, Rhode Island. And then all of a sudden, if you went all the way down and you found even smaller cities, like a Richmond, Virginia, for example, that all of a sudden makes it all the way to the NBA, and you have people who have been waiting for 15 years from Richmond to have their professional NBA team compete all the way in the first division of basketball. That's what I got to witness. So, and I got to witness that Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So it was absolutely incredible.
And then one more cross-sport comparison. The NBA just had the draft lottery, where some of the worst teams usually get rewarded for a better pick. But in footy, you're fighting... Well, not the Wizards, not the Wizards, but the Wizards would have been relegated. Point being, like then you can't just tank the season.
yeah,
That's what it means.
Shout out the Mystics, man.
Shout out the Mystics, not the Wizards. Definitely not the Wizards. Oh man. Well,
That I just realized like owning a football team is basically glamorized sports betting.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely it is.
Investment trying to change people.
No, absolutely. Owning a football team is one of the
Why
sweetest
is it-
investments you can make.
it's like betting in terms of the risk, but it's not as simple as like
Ethically,
is
it's
this
not
the best?
ethically
Yeah.
the same. You're trying to change people's lives if you have it.
No, you're trying to make more money.
Of course.
You're
but
trying to sell the team.
That's not. That's
You're trying
actually.
to sell the team. in
That's
10
actually
years.
not necessarily true. A lot of these owners are just super rich people that this
Yeah,
is just
sports
their
racing.
excitement and
Yeah,
vibes and like
Sports
community.
betting.
Sports betting. He's exactly right, though.
And no, in
They're
terms
just trying to
of
make
the
more
energy,
money just for fuck's sake.
I would say it's more. I actually agree with the sports betting, but I would say for them it's a thrill. They don't need the money.
It's the same thing with niggas who are addicted
That's what
to
I'm saying.
sports betting.
I'm saying that, I'm agreeing with you, bro.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying they're doing it for the thrill more than the money because their advisor can tell them put this money in this stock. It's like, nah, let me get crazy with this fourth
I
division
want
Italian team.
to see fucking Manchester United drop 7 goals on League and come back.
Taboli, bro. Worked out for y'all.
And sports are a good way for other businesses. Like a lot of owners will use their
Yeah.
sports team to then like smooth over other businesses. Like, hey, I'll come out to the game. I'll give you
Yeah.
box seats, this, that, and the third. And it's a good. It's a lot of companies will write it off as a loss actually,
Yeah,
because a lot of times it is a loss.
that's true, bro.
Tremendous
A
loss.
lot of teams do be losing money.
But it's loss.
That is a fact.
Millions of dollars.
Well, we talked about the bottom of the table and teams rising all the way up. We got to get to the top and get into the Champions League. But first off, we are hosting a Champions League final watch party this Saturday, May 31st at the beautiful Dambala. This is the first watch party ever at Dambala, so I think that's pretty fire.
Yes, sir.
We got PSG trying to be the team to win their first ever Champions League. We got Inter Milan, who against all odds beat Barcelona and are back in the final. How we feeling, man? How we feeling?
I mean, listen, it's right next door, across the street, even for where we just had Kits and Kin.
It's a fact. From
I'm
Razuli to
saying,
Dambala, bro.
It was a great show. So no, definitely looking forward to us ending the season together with our people. If you're in New York, pull up. If you're not in New York, get to New York.
Yeah, if you're Parisian, if you're Milanian, if you're a New Yorker, if you're Haitian, if you're Jamaican, if you're Arabic, whatever the
Fuck that, bro.
I mean, just crash the plane, nose dive into the mountain. I'm like,
Somebody
I
has
should
to
get in
do
the
it.
race.
Somebody has to do
Alright,
it. You go in the pilot room, you see the
Whatever,
pilot switch.
whatever.
Bro, it's like the Denzel movie, the drunk ass pilot.
whatever you representing, there's a space for you at Dambala to watch the Champions League final. Pull
That's
up.
a-
But for
fact,
real,
bro.
one thing that you will highlight it's an Italian team versus a French team.
Yeah.
It's going to be at it's a Haitian,
Yeah.
Italian team versus a French team at a Haitian cafe.
bar.
in-
It's a bar.
Cool.
Yeah.
Italian team versus a French team at a Haitian bar in Brooklyn, New York.
That's a fact.
We're not
It's a
I've never
space.
seen
It's a
that.
space for
Hey, man,
everybody.
it's
At the end,
it's
of
a
the day.
space for everybody. And listen, whether you're a diehard footy fan there to watch just the game, or you just want to pull up, have a few drinks, and socialize at the beautiful Dambala, is definitely the place to be this Saturday.
It's
100%.
another jersey party. Just wear your jersey.
That's a
man.
fact.
Facts.
That is a fact. All right, y'all. Well, we're talking about the Champions League final. Simple question of the week: who do you have winning? Who do you think is going to be man of the match or goal scorer? Any X factors to look out for? The last big game of the season. Who y'all got?
So,
Has Dembele recovered from his injury?
I think so. Yes.
As far as I know, he's going to
Yes.
be out there.
I said it. I said it.
Yeah, fuck you. Have to.
I said it 2 stages ago in the Champions League. That 2 stages ago in the Champions League, I said that I thought Inter was going to win the whole thing. Here they are in the final. Unfortunately, as a Milan fan, I think they're going to have to do it. I think Inter is probably going to win the Champions League. I think, unfortunately, it is less so about Inter's strengths and more so about PSG's weaknesses. It's a lack of experience on that PSG side in finals like this. I have a lot of love for Luis Enrique. I think he's one of the best people in football, and I'll be supporting PSG for a lot of different reasons, but most notably because of how just like good of a person Luis Enrique has shown himself to be. But unfortunately, I just think that Inter just has too much experience and too much know-how to get through a match that's at that scale and at that level.
I think, as you pointed out, Inter Milan probably know how to suffer through a match. They just came off of what?
Sufferings.
With
Hell.
Barcelona.
Hell, 2 games of hell. 2 giving up leads
Yeah.
of 2 goals.
No, they know how to sit through it.
Yeah.
So I'm rooting for PSG as well. I think PSG can find a way, but football is football, man. They be breaking hearts, bro.
I think Inter is going to win it, but I think this PSG squad will get a Champions League. That's kind of how I'm seeing it. The same way that Inter lost in the final 2 years ago, grew from that, stuck together, got themselves a Scudetto, I believe, in the meantime. Overcame where it looked like they were about to be out. They're on kind of their last leg with this squad. A bunch of guys might be out from this team at this point because I think they're a lot older team. They're in the mid-30s and everything. I think they're going to find a way to get it done. It'll probably be ugly, but I just think they're going to do it. And I think the X factor is going to be Dumfries and those wing backs. I think they're going to exploit.
Dumfries and
DeMarco as well. I think they're going to be able to exploit the space. I think they'll be able to. If you can suffer through what Barca did, I think you can similarly suffer through what PSG is about to give them. So personally, for vibes, rooting for PSG. But if you had to make me pick a winner, I think it's going to be Inter.
If you had to sports bet like Kendrick,
Yeah, if I had a sports bet like Kendrick, I would bet on Inter.
First of all, I do not bet on soccer. It's illegal for me to do so. I would never.
My fault, bro.
I would never do such a thing.
Cutting out.
Not this Kendrick. We weren't talking about him. by
Yeah,
the way.
My fault,
Kendrick
boss.
Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar would be sports bet.
Yeah,
Your people,
but-
huh?
We just
yeah.
threw that on Kendrick.
Facts.
Oh, boy.
Nah, I think a lot of the focus on this matchup, at least on the Paris side, is going to be the offense. But I always say defense wins games, and I think unlike Barcelona, who dealt with a lot of injuries in that matchup against Inter, PSG is coming into this with a healthy defense with Marquinhos in the back, Mendes, Pacho, Hakimi, and then obviously Donnarumma. I think like their defense is stronger than a lot of people give them credit for. And so if they show up in a matchup like this, and then you got Doué, Barcola, Kvara, Dembele running at you up top, it might be a lot for Inter to deal with. So I think the defense is going to make the difference in this game. And we always see in the UCL finals, like teams might be a little timid, sit back. It becomes a lot more about who can like hold up the longest. And I think that's the way that PSG can win. So I'm rooting for them.
Yeah, I would say another X factor is going to be Vitinha in midfield.
Yeah.
And can he? I think he's probably in form the best midfielder in the world right now, and had one of the best seasons.
Yep.
Absolutely unbelievable, especially in tight spaces. But if any team can find a way to get the ball out of his feet, it probably is Inter. So can he win in the midfield against the kind of bodies that would be flying at him or not? I think that's going to be huge. Because on the other side, Barella has been one of the best midfielders in the world this season too, and much more quietly because of the team that he's on. So the midfield is going to dictate a lot of that because you need that to get up to the top guys that are able to break down and get their moments.
How do you feel about set pieces?
Inter, I would put favorites for sure.
PSG
PSG looked very vulnerable in that Aston Villa game.
Pacho has a really tough time.
Yeah.
He said really, really.
Konsa should have scored for Aston Villa. And actually in that match too, speaking of Vitinha, who I've praised a lot, I saw a couple times he was kind of sitting back with the ball and he was playing with his food. They're trying to do a little bit too much passing out the back. You can't play with that against Inter and not in this final.
Yeah.
You cannot play with that. So
One thing I want to say, and you can actually just probably turn this into a clip. I saw a video that came out earlier this year of Luis Enrique speaking about the philosophy that he's tried to imbue in this PSG side. He said basically no one on this team is special. No one on this team is bigger than anyone else, and no one on this team gets to do or be anything more than just a footballer. He said that we're super lucky to just be able to have a talent that pays us well, but if we were ping pong players or anything else, we wouldn't be making this much money and we'd be taking the bus to work every day. That's a mentality that hasn't been at PSG in a while, in almost 7-8 years. That concept of no one's special, no one's above this, no one's more than this.
I'd say since the ownership took over.
Perhaps, yeah. And so because he has been the one person who's been able to imbue that, I found myself oddly enough rooting for PSG.
Yeah,
which
facts.
I would like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I was always a little bit like felt weird about PSG. This squad is someone that I can really get behind. So I hope they do it. I hope they win it. There's a lot of storylines that say that they should, but especially because Luis Enrique, I think a lot of the world will be rooting for them.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned that. I feel like this is the first time the world's behind PSG.
Yeah.
They're the favorites in terms of what the fans want. People say save football if they win sort of thing is the style they play. They don't have the one Mbappe, Neymar, Messi, even Ibra back in the day too.
They had Ramos.
Huh?
They had
Gonzalo,
Ramos.
no, he's a baller. I'm saying
No, I was talking about Sergio. Like,
they had
they had
Sergio
a
Ramos
sick
too.
team.
Yeah.
Donnarumma didn't pan out in the beginning. Now he's finally becoming the player he thought. So all those times, the oil club jokes and everything, the world is finally for the first time like, no, let's get PSG to win. Yeah. So I think this squad will win a Champions League. I just don't know about this year. That's my take.
Which fan base / city do you think deserves it more?
Paris. They've never won it. They've never won. I don't know about deserve, but like they'll react even
Deserve
more.
is hard to say.
Yeah, I don't know about deserve.
These are two big ultra fan groups, so
Paris will go crazier than Milan though.
if they win,
I'm very
I
confident
agree.
in that.
Well, we'll see. Paris can go nuts, but
That's what
like,
I'm saying.
I know when you say crazy.
No, I know
it
too
can get
crazy.
dangerous.
Oh, absolutely,
get
and it
dangerous
probably will.
in Paris.
But it means they've never won it. France, as a country, has one UCL. I think
true.
94 Marseille.
Yeah.
What this means for
boy.
French football and Paris Saint-Germain is huge, bro. Huge.
Ici c'est Paris.
Ici c'est Paris. Speaking of,
I just want to make it clear that I don't want Italians to celebrate. I don't want
just in general, like Italians shouldn't congregate.
saw not the
I don't want them to get a victory. I don't want them to feel happy in the footballing world. I don't want them to have anything to like look back and tell their grandkids about. Like I want them to just suffer. Honestly, if Inter Milan or AC Milan could make it to the final every year and lose, that would make me very happy.
So how do you feel about Napoli's Scudetto celebrations in McMayo this season?
I mean, that's fine. Internal.
But not to the rest of Europe.
Yeah. Like rest of the world, relax.
Italian national team too. They can't do that.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Spaghetti boys. Well, I mean, we got to talk about Napoli since you brought it up. I mean, it looked like a war zone, bro. Actually, that amount of fireworks just to sell. I've never seen it. The sky was lit up, bro. Looked like World War Z.
That joint lit, boy.
Napoli makes me smile, man. I'm an AC Milan fan.
What
Napoli
a
makes me
story,
smile.
bro.
There's two things. There's one. There's the celebrations at night. The night that they won, how they turned their city into a war zone. Like that video of the what is it? The fireworks. Just
It looks
going
like
off.
a war zone.
It actually, it looks like a sci-fi movie.
Yeah, it does.
What was also beautiful was the flip side in the morning with the bus parade by the water, like with the mountain in the background, the whole city like lit up in blue. Very romantic, very beautiful, very peaceful images. I don't know. They get behind their people. They really do. It's beautiful to see. They're such a passionate club. And there's nothing bad that I can say about Napoli. I'm not a Napoli fan, but there's nothing bad I can say about that club.
It's a great story too, because I think they had waited 33 years until the Scudetto they had a couple years ago, and now they've had 2 and 3 seasons. For those lifelong fans, someone in their 50s or 60s, think about what that must be.
Yeah.
For Maradona, when you're young, you wait, and then finally Osimhen does and Cavara do what they did, and now you have the likes of McTominay and Lukaku. And look what happens when you leave Man United, bro.
I was gonna say Lukaku.
McTominay was fun. Can you believe McTominay was Serie A MVP? That doesn't sound real, bro.
Doesn't sound real.
Look at all the ballers in that league. He won the Scudetto in his first season and was Serie A MVP
And
with
he
something
scored
like,
the
12
that
goals,
won.
10 assists.
Yeah.
He used to be a striker, you know.
A scissor kick.
Yeah, bro.
And then they made him like defensive mid at Man United, right?
Yeah.
And now get him
He used to
attacking
be a
mid, look what he
striker.
does. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Man United said nah, and then look what happened. And then shout out Antonio Conte, who took them from
What a
10th to
manager.
1st.
What a manager Conte is.
He loves taking a random project. Let me just win you a title.
What a manager.
Unbelievable, bro.
And he's getting a serious piece in Kevin De Bruyne. A serious
see-
piece. He just landed in Napoli today.
I think
Serious
they're gonna
piece.
sign it. That's a great second place for him.
Yeah.
And
Another Sky Blue team.
yeah, and I think now with his little bit of lack of athleticism, he can sit further back because they have a McTominay up there, and I think this will be a new place for him to thrive.
For
honestly.
Lukaku, that Belgian connection.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Lukaku's running around Italy just winning with the
Just winning, bro.
Mm.
But he did come from Manchester United, who finished the season
Fucking stink.
without a trophy
Man.
Y'all are shit.
and a little bit above relegation in a whopping
nothing there.
17th place.
They finished in 17th?
17th or
16th,
16th?
16th.
Oh,
Spurs
excuse me, guys. They finished in 16th
Yo,
place
put
in the
some
Premier
respect,
League. Yeah, man. Congratulations.
Yuck, spill it.
He's a Man United fan. We'll put a little like Man United logo on him. But so that's insane. But congrats to Spurs. I guess they won the Europa League, their first trophy since
Yo, congrats
2008.
to Spurs.
Another team in London with a trophy. They qualified for the Champions League while finishing in 17th place, which has never happened before. I mean, thoughts on the Europa League final / like what it means for both clubs.
The fact that it was 1-0, right?
1-0 own goal.
Yeah, I was gonna say the fact that was the only goal was nasty.
People said it was a snooze fest. I didn't watch
yeah,
it.
it was a
Games
snooze
that I
fest.
don't watch don't happen in my world.
Yeah.
Games that I watch, if I don't watch it, it happen for me.
Word.
It's
Facts.
like
It was
some
a,
shit.
It was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad. It was
So,
probably
who
one of
won
the
that
worst
match?
games I've ever seen.
I watched it.
I didn't watch
I watched it
that.
with a Tottenham fan.
I didn't
So
watch that shit.
let's start about what it means for Tottenham. I mean, go ahead, Seb. You got your girl into the team, and now they won a trophy. That's crazy.
That's a Champions League club.
That's insane. And that's the thing, too. You can say whatever you want. They found a way to qualify for the Champions League.
Niggas finished 17th place, go to Champions League.
They
Hey,
found a way.
hey.
They found
What
a
is
way.
fire though is the quote from Postecoglou. That's
Love it.
fire.
What did he say?
He said maybe like months ago, he's looking to the camera. It's after a game. It's a rainy day. They've just lost a match. He goes, in an Australian accent, he goes, "Listen, mate, I always win trophies in my second season."
Oh yeah.
At the time, they were like 15th place. When he goes into the Europa League final, he's in 17th place and finds a way to win the Europa League and send his team to the Champions League.
It's unreal.
That's kind of fire.
It's unreal,
That's
bro.
kind of fire.
I think there's something deeply broken about football if you can be in 17th place and make it into the top tournament in the continent.
So you don't think Europa League winners in general should get into the Champions League?
No.
That's what a lot of people are starting to say. This wasn't such an issue because usually 17th could never go that far, and then we had a weird anomaly season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know though. You
the
proved
reason-
it in a competition that had some good teams in it.
And what I will say is that Spurs dealt with a lot of injuries this season.
lot.
And so the philosophy at the club was like, leave this Prem season alone.
Yeah.
We're gonna put all our eggs in this Europa League basket.
They
And
found
that's
a
what
way.
they did. That's what they did.
Yeah, that's what they did. And we have to talk about another European trophy, the Conference League.
Okay.
Chelsea FC today became the first team to win all 4 major European competitions.
Brother, which four?
The Champions League,
Mhm.
the European Cup,
Mm-hmm.
the Europa League,
What's the last
and
one?
the Conference League.
It was the fourth was the fourth was the Cup Winners' Cup, which is not a major trophy.
I mean, okay.
But the three for sure. The three for
we
sure.
made history.
The three for sure. You
Sure.
did. Every tier.
Sure. For
And like I think like all jokes aside, like and we were even talking shit about Conference League, but I do think
Holy fuck.
I'm very proud of like this team because they're the youngest team in Premier League history. Like the average age was like 24 years and something days. So it's actually a group of kids, bro. And so obviously Chelsea, the standard is to win the Champions League, but for a team of a bunch of like starting 21-year-old Mendham FC, the team that everybody thought was kind of a joke ragtag team,
Yeah.
to win a title in your first team together and qualify for the Champions League, it's not too shabby.
What do you think's a better achievement, Champions League or winning Europa or Conference? I think qualifying for Champions League, finishing
Yeah,
fourth is
100%.
harder.
Yeah, because the Premier League was mad competitive.
Mad
It
competitive
was
this
OD
season.
competitive.
And y'all snuck out a big win away to Nottingham.
Yeah,
that was like
it was
that
a
to me is
scrapey-
almost more.
It was a very scrappy like qualifying push. So
Yeah.
congrats to them. Like
Yeah,
Congrats to Sancho Anthony. They hugged after the match.
yeah,
Yeah,
More former United ballers just
they were
succeeding
just
elsewhere.
like, yo, like we
Look at
suffering
life.
together. Look at us now.
But Josh, I mean, we do have a Man United fan on the pod. What is next for y'all?
Wesh.
Give me what is next. It's
Like, what's the plan? What do you think is the right way to move forward?
Gotta let some pieces go.
Who's the Portuguese boy y'all just bought? The Brazilian boy y'all just bought for another 80, 90
was it from Wolves?
Yeah.
Oh, Cunha, they're gonna do 80 mil.
something like that. Some ridiculous number for.
They gotta chill with the amount.
That's a Conference League striker at
yeah,
best.
yeah.
Yeah, so now we
Yo,
gotta fix up Amorim, you know.
Do you have
The
faith,
guy's-
or are you
the
just like
guy's
detached?
I mean, I've been detached from everything in life for a long time.
And it began with Manchester United.
You know what I mean? So it's been a year, but nah, for real. At the end of the day, like it's not the best when you actually even do well when you're not in a good place.
Yeah.
So like for real, like take it on the head.
I don't know why I said yeah. I don't know what he's saying.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Kind of.
Yeah, my
kind
team's
of.
in 10th. We're not going to Europe either.
Yeah, type
Yeah.
shit. Like it's like, bro, when your
it's
shit,
like really a rebuild now.
when your shit be shit, like don't act like you're not shit when you're shit, bro.
You see my fans? Your fans are weird, though. That's the one thing. I'll
For
say.
what?
Y'all don't actually like. It should be mass protests outside the stadium. Shit should be burned down.
There was I'm trying to think a couple years ago there was some shit, but I get what you mean. Nah,
Like,
bro,
this is
I mean this.
insanity.
Bro, Sevilla fans are
very
protesting
Italian.
before y'all.
Italian thing.
To protest? You see what the
Nah,
Milan
but we,
fans did?
we,
No.
For
we
that to be
protested.
your reaction.
We protested on the Glazers at one point, like within the last five.
Yeah, but it's not enough.
No,
Yes,
here.
16th is
Look
crazy.
up. Look up what
The
AC
reason why it's not enough too is because, and I saw this quote from Thierry Henry, who was talking about the difference between Arsenal and United within the past 5 years. United actually has ended up in a final consistently the last 5 years. So
Yeah.
sometimes we have the illusion of a trophy.
I see.
And they did win last year.
Ten Hag has technically been one of the most like winningest in terms of every season
Game per trophy.
or
vibe.
some shit. You know what I mean? And so like
XYZ
Literally.
coefficient.
It is.
no, but just in terms of the
Yeah.
amount of trophies during the time, you know what I'm saying? Versus an Arsenal where it's like, okay, the
Sick.
niggas have just been second.
We gotta talk about that too.
No, but you know, they haven't
Yeah.
been they used to hold FA Cup at least.
Yeah.
So it's like these shit, bro.
Yeah, can we talk about Arsenal fans? real
We
quick?
should. So
I just-
break
yeah.
down the trophies in London too.
It's
Yeah,
a great
I mean-
Arteta has had a great upward trajectory, but it's just like, bro,
It's
bad.
flattened out. But let's get on Kendrick. Yeah.
Arteta has had a great upward trajectory after coming in second place season after season to his daddy Pep Guardiola.
Talking about where he started from.
Arsenal fans having to watch all of their rival teams get trophies. Chelsea sneak out with the Conference League. Spurs snuck out with the Europa League.
Palace.
Crystal Palace snuck out with the FA Cup against Manchester City, the team that edged y'all out every single season. And y'all finished with nothing. Imagine like working hard for years and you just finish with nothing and you talk shit about every other team.
That is the thing they do. Though.
Not only in the Premier League, but in Europe as well.
See, that's my Arsenal fan.
They were
Here's-
talking mad shit when they beat Real Madrid, bro.
It's like dog.
We're
like,
the best team ever.
dog. That's the thing about Arsenal fans. Just like they might be the worst fan, and it's you know what's worse too.
No.
The Arsenal fans are great human beings, like person to person, like
Get
good.
the fuck out of here.
Wait, good people.
Too
Once-
many mean we don't care, bro.
what I'm trying to say is
We
this:
don't care,
once they
bro.
turn into Arsenal fans, just like their logic, it just is
Bro.
gone.
What are you trying to
just-
say?
I'm
AFTV.
saying they're bad fans. They're annoying fans. They're points that they will always try to find a way to justify why they don't win anything.
Facts.
Don't you want better
That's
for your
crazy.
No, it is crazy because don't you want something better for your club?
Justifying mediocrity.
That's my thing.
That's nasty.
Like you can't say nah. Second place is no. It's not. If you're gonna be the biggest club in London, lots of quotes. It needs to be about trophies.
Why you
Even when
talking-
Chelsea shit.
Why are you
they
talking
find a
about
way
your
to win a
side
trophy.
hole like this?
That's not, get that shit out of here. And we know what's worse about Arsenal too.
fact.
I'm gonna tell you what's worse about Arsenal. They
I
get.
don't even fuck with her.
You're funny. All the shit they talked about, the Europa League win that Tottenham just had.
Yeah.
If y'all remember a few years ago, your boys actually smacked them in the Europa League final, and they really wanted that trophy at that moment. So which one is it? Is it Uchi Wally or One Mike? Anyways,
Uchi Wally, Uchi Bang Bang.
What's
Feel
up,
me?
you, Wally?
great song is what it is.
Did y'all see what the AC Milan fans did?
Show me, bro.
You haven't seen it?
Put us on.
Look up AC Milan go home.
AC
Look it up
Milan
yourself,
go
guys.
home. If you're at home with us, you can also look up AC Milan go home. and we are going to figure out what this is. Rage at
Can you
Redbird.
send it to me?
AC Milan supporters staged a go-home protest against the club's owners, Redbird Capital, during their final Serie A match of the season against Monza. According to multiple news sources, the fans were expressing their dissatisfaction with the club's performance, and the owner's management, reports indicate. The protest involved fans forming the message, "Go home," in the stands, and some fans leaving the stadium early.
Phone.
They had a disappointing season, finishing in 7th place and lost the Coppa Italia final to Bologna and
think
were
we
eliminated from the Champions League playoffs.
I don't think we finished in 7th place. That would have sent us to Conference League.
Oh.
I think we
Well,
finished
the
in
AI
10th.
was wrong.
It's interesting how y'all team just kind of faded out of the news cycle too.
Eighth,
Like I feel like at
8th.
some point I was like hearing a lot more about like just what's
Come on.
happening. Like
Yeah.
I stopped seeing Rafa like in
Rafa.
general. I stopped
Smile
seeing
went away.
I stopped seeing
Rafa just
Pulisic in
stopped
my
going to
feed.
games.
I stopped seeing Puli in my feed. Like it just everything
Yeah.
about that team just kind of like disappeared from the
So-
Same in Italian or just from English speaking media?
Oh no, in Italy they're tearing them apart. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
I can imagine.
Because that's the biggest club in Italy.
So AC Milan fans staged a historic protest, I would say. The ultras went into the Curva Nord at the San Siro. They stood in a in a lettering that essentially read "Go home." It was a protest against the Redbird Capital hedge fund that owns AC Milan, American ownership primarily. It read "Go home," a very clear message: go home, get out of our club. Prior to that, there were mass protests outside of the Milanello team offices, telling the owners to get out of the club and to leave the club and to sell the club. I appreciate it as an AC Milan fan. Contrary to other big clubs that are not doing as well as they should be or doing as well as they need to be for the history that they have, at least the fans in Milan actually are showing that there's a certain standard they expect, and if they don't get that, they're leaving the stadium and they won't show up. And that's the thing about British soccer, that sometimes you lose that ability to protest because of how touristic and how commercialized the sport has become and how big it's become in England.
Yeah.
In Italy, the fans still have a little bit of actual, the fans from the actual city still have a little bit of say, a little bit of ability to send a clear message. And immediately the club took action. They hired a new sporting director. The hopes is that Maldini does come back, but ultimately the problem for Milan right now is that our wages are so high and our players are so negatively impacted by this season that I don't know. We could probably enter another 3-4 years of terribleness again. We'll see. On paper, though, we have one of the best squads in Italy. On paper, I think we actually have the most talented squad in Italy.
Well, now you can focus on Serie A.
Yeah, but we can't. I don't know if we can keep the players without Champions League money. The problem is that we don't get 110 million like Prem clubs.
I don't think Rafa and Pulli will instantly leave. I don't think instantly.
Police stalled on contract renewals.
We'll see, man. Another team protesting is Sevilla. They've really fallen off what they used to be. They used to be the serial Europa League winners. For every year you see Madrid Champions League, Sevilla Europa League. Completely fallen off the map in Spain. And even when they did win Europa a few years ago, they still had a very poor finish in La Liga. Their fans who, usually the ultras are standing or sitting behind the goal, like that main area. For the last home game of the season, they left it completely blank. And then were protesting outside the stadium during the first half, then came in during the second half and then did protesting from the stands itself.
That's good.
So just another team with that kind of history, not nearly as much, but still just a few of these seasons finishing 15th, 14th again and again. Sevilla cannot let that happen, especially when they're witnessing the upward trajectory of Betis, qualified for Europa, almost won a trophy this time. So, yeah, tough times for some historic clubs, honestly.
Yep.
Yeah, Valencia too has been going through it. They're on a little upturn, but
Quick question before we get out of here. Have you all seen Ancelotti is managing Brazil?
yes, of course.
Thoughts, feelings?
I like it. He's given oh, you want to say it?
I was just gonna say, what's his name? Andresito about to just ride the bench more.
I disagree. I think it's good. I mean, he's developed Vinny Jr., Rodrigo, who, by the way, I think people forget with Vinny, he did not come to Real Madrid as the next guy, the next star. He was a very raw talent. He came from just being a pacey winger to a guy that multiple seasons is getting 20-plus goals, 20-plus assists, winning all the trophies in the club book. So he developed that talent. He developed Rodrigo as well. Militao, not to mention, all the Brazilians that Real Madrid has had. Casemiro, he coached too when he was winning the Champions League in 2014, actually. Well, they had 4 of them. 2014, 2016 through 2018. So I think it's the right kind of guy. And also, he's not an overly tactical manager.
Yeah.
He's more vibes and
facts.
making his players happy. That's what he's known for, one of the best man managers.
Facts.
That's what Brazil needs. They've been having too many try to be tactical and this and that. You need to bring Joga Bonito back. I think it's the right guy. But I saw someone, I think it was Cam, say, like, ironically, it's an Italian of all people. But I think it's the right guy. And it's what else does he have to do besides win with an international club? Ancelotti's done the goal. He's done everything. So
I agree.
that's why I see
I
it.
hope he just brings out the Real Madrid Vinny for the Brazilian national team.
Vinny had a good last game with Mbappe, so we'll see. Yeah.
One thing I want to say is I think the one thing that I believe basketball media has over soccer media is the way that highlights are done on YouTube. As a soccer fan, if I want to watch a game after a soccer game has taken place, the problem with soccer thumbnails on social media, on YouTube, on TV, is that the thumbnail always tells you who won the game before you watch the video.
That's funny.
Basketball thumbnails, at the very least, especially because right now it's playoff time, if you miss a game, when you click on the YouTube video, you do not know who won the game. Soccer thumbnails will literally say, incredible PSG battering of, or like Manchester United run riot. It's like, bro, I already know the score. I don't want to watch the game anymore. So my advice to all you people making the YouTube thumbnails for soccer games is please change it so I don't know who won the game before I click on the thumbnail.
It's funny, though.
Please and thank you.
Shout out Being Sports, because I was doing my
Yes.
Egyptian research. Egypt versus Mauritania it was. I did not see the score in the thumbnail.
Awesome.
So I had to see what would happen. That's
out
how you
Being.
should do it. For sure. Shall we get into some fan fest?
Quickly, yeah.
All right. So we just mentioned Ancelotti leaving Real Madrid for Brazil. So we're getting into La Liga. And let's talk about some of the changes going on at the big three clubs. So Real Madrid now have a new coach. He's been formally announced, Xabi Alonso. They've already signed Dean Huijsen, the Spanish defender from Bournemouth, who's only 20 years old. One of the most, he plays for the Spanish national team. One of the most highly anticipated, defenders out there. 20 years old, had a phenomenal season. They just signed Carreras, the left back, as well from Benfica, to go with the way Xabi plays with that width for the wing backs. What do we think about Real Madrid's new coach? Couple new signings, many more signings, I'm sure, to come this summer. What do we feel like the new transfers can do for this club? And of course, Modric retiring. And then Lucas Vazquez has played his last games for Real Madrid as well.
I think what you forgot to mention is Trent coming through.
And Trent, oh my God, I forgot Trent. How am I? Yeah, we've talked about that before, but yeah,
Which I think
Trent
is
too.
gonna be a little bit weird. It's another like very, very, very talented player that we don't really know what position he'll fit into at Real Madrid. And I feel like you guys have enough of those.
I think Xabi's the right guy for it, though.
Yeah, I don't know. Xabi's system is a bit odd. I don't know. Like the pieces that he has at Real Madrid don't necessarily fit his play style. So we'll have to see how he adapts. I think it could be a little bit of a learning curve as well. And I don't know how much patience Real Madrid fans will have with him. That's my only concern for him because he's a good guy.
Yep.
So I don't know if they'll give him the patience.
Former club legend will buy him some time.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
When's the last time Madrid has had a former club legend coach?
Zidane,
Zidane.
three-peat
Did very
UCL,
well.
and then what came back and won the league in 2020.
Cool.
But those are unfair. So one thing I don't like about Madrid fans, don't expect this man to instantly do what Zizou did. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all will. That's
The Real Madrid fans get me tight as a Real Madrid fan. I don't like that shit.
worst fans.
God forbid you don't win the UCL one
Good
year.
luck.
Oh,
the
everybody
worst
relax.
fans in the world. By
Good
far.
luck.
I'm crying. Barcelona, obviously, they came off an incredible season.
Good luck.
Any changes we think that they need to make, whether it's something with the high line, reinforcements for the defense, they don't have nearly the financial power of some of the other clubs, other big clubs in Europe. So not a lot of transfer rumors for them. It looks like it's going to be more the same squad running it back.
They should invest in Samu from Porto.
Yep, formerly Atletico.
Yep, they need a striker. They need a striker to kind of play second fiddle to Lewandowski and grow into that role.
What about Ferran Torres? I think he's done well.
Yeah, Ferran Torres is but Ferran Torres is not an elite striker.
It's interesting. I've been seeing different. You're talking about Barca.
Sorry,
yeah?
Ferran Torres is an elite striker?
I think Ferran Torres is becoming an elite striker. He's finally looking like, and it's
The
interesting.
things I hear
for-
on this
You're
podcast,
mad
man.
funny, so you're mad
Bro, this is a Madrid. Well, see, I'm funny because I'm a Madrid fan, but I'm also Spanish, so I'm like biased and unbiased at the same time.
Ferran Torres is like
We're talking about
Dude, he'll
Barca.
have
He's better than
Number
Morata.
nine.
He should start for us.
You're talking
okay,
about Barca's
Morata is not
number
the standard of elite strikers.
No, I'm talking about Spanish national
Bro,
team.
you're
Yeah.
talking about Barca's number 9.
Yeah.
I've been seeing some reports for two ballers, Keane and Rashford.
Keane should not.
Moise Keane.
Yeah, Moise Keane
That
and
is not a
Rashford.
good move. Moise,
No,
though.
no.
Moise, you were in such a great spot. Please.
One
go to
thing that'll be
Barca?
one
That's
thing that'll be
insane.
interesting though for Rashford, and I always say that like
Rashford
if you
could
look
work.
his athleticism,
Yeah.
bro, he's never been a system that's fed him well.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, with you have Lamine and Rafinha on your side, obviously the problem with him is he's a wide forward. He's an Mbappe in terms of the
Yeah.
archetype. But if he's in a system that he can run and he can play, and he also is
Is
very
he better
techy.
than Ferran Torres is right now on this current
We
Barcelona
haven't-
squad
we
in the way
haven't
that they
seen.
play?
We haven't seen.
I would just stay. If bro, you went to Villa, things are going well. Y'all just got
Barca.
sixth
He's
place.
He's on loan, right?
Yeah.
Stay at Villa.
It was it'd
sign
be a
with
loan
Villa.
for Barca, by the way. A loan for Barca for Rashford.
I wouldn't try to honestly. If there's one thing Barca don't need it to me, this is coming from a Real Madrid fan. Don't mess with the front line. Y'all got that set.
Loan's getting old.
And Ferran Torres, they believe, is their 9.
Injury,
I think
bro.
he is.
I mean, I can see Marcus doing well in La Liga in general.
Absolutely.
I can see him at a team like more like a Villarreal Betis kind of
I don't
level
do that
squad.
to Marcus, bro. Don't do that.
Bro,
Don't do that. He's at Aston Villa right now. Why are we talking about him like he's?
I agree with Gabe.
What we doing, bro?
no,
And y'all just shit on him.
I don't know if
like
he's.
3
I don't know if he's a
seasons.
top 3 club player. Right?
Yeah,
Like, right
I don't know about all that.
Like right now,
But, like,
Max Atletico.
the archetype, you see what I'm trying to say?
Even that is
if he's
like, yeah.
fed well and just given opportunities, he'll back.
course, of
Yeah,
course.
he'll be back. He'll be back.
Isak.
Isak.
Isak would be crazy.
Isak to Barca.
That would be
Yeah,
interesting.
but some Prem teams like yourself, Chelsea
Yeah.
need one, Arsenal need one. It's gonna be interesting.
And then there's Osimhen floating around.
Isak in
Yeah,
Spain.
Osimhen had a crazy season in Turkey that no one really talking about. He had a crazy
Isak in
season.
Spain.
He used to play in Spain.
Played for
Russell
Spain.
Sociedad.
Played for
Oh,
Sociedad.
yeah.
That's where he made his name. Atletico, any changes we think there? I think they need a little more midfield creativity, personally. I think an aging Griezmann, they have the striker, Sorloth and Julian Alvarez
Yeah.
both scored 20 plus, which is phenomenal. But the midfield is so many just like, it's just legs and running and intensity. I don't see the creativity on the ball right now.
You know who I really think would do well at Atletico Madrid if Simeone allowed for a little bit of creativity is the boy from Lyon.
I was just, Ryan Cherky.
Cherky.
That's a rumor. That's a rumor.
Cherky would do
that would
amazing.
be crazy.
And I
Low
see
key, yes.
High key. And it's a real rumor, too.
That's
Is
a
it really?
good shout.
Yeah.
y'all be knowing ball, bro.
Yeah.
I'm good at these little rumors. They come
Sometimes.
true. sometimes.
Cherky.
Like stupid.
Like my suggestions.
Listen, man.
make
Shout out the
sense.
league on dribbler of the year.
Game's validation made you feel nice.
He doesn't ever validate me, so it's nice when he does.
That's
that.
not true. Sabia the GOAT, man.
Nah, I think Cherky would do very well at Atletico
Yeah.
Madrid. Very,
High
very
key. I think he would be phenomenal there.
Shall we move on to the Bundesliga?
Yeah, let's get into the Bundesliga. They also got a bunch of things changing. So we just talked about Xabi Alonso. What?
Nah, them niggas signed Ten Hag, bro.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was just about to say, Xabi Alonso left
Christ.
Leverkusen, and now they have Eric Ten Hag, which is an interesting kind of guy. He's a much older coach than Xabi. Was successful at Ajax.
Adrian, we're in the office, right? We're quietly working. He goes, no! He said, what's wrong, bro? He said, our job just got 30 times harder.
Oh, man. He did great at
Does it
Ajax.
trickle
Man
down?
United, not as
I'll
much.
ask you after.
But Josh did witness him win a trophy in Wembley against Man City. That was
Barely.
Eric.
Type shit.
Barely.
So, I mean, it's just such, it feels a little bit like a step backwards. You had maybe the most
A little
exciting,
bit.
I'm trying to be nice. I think you had the most exciting young coach in the world, and now you have Eric Ten Hag.
It's
So if you're
interesting.
Frimpong and Boniface,
Frimpong already left, bro.
yeah.
Frimpong said,
And he probably, even just culturally,
Yeah,
probably
vibes.
has a whole different type of energy to
That's
him.
look what they
Like
did to Sancho.
the locker room is gonna be different. Like imagine you're Frimpong, you come in dancing, talking about I'm with my daddy with Boniface, and then Ten Hag is
that
like, what
bald-
the fuck are you doing? Like sit down and shut up and dribble.
Difference between a
He's
bald
about to
head and
spaz
good
out.
hair.
He's
Yeah.
about to spaz the
I don't know.
fuck
What do you think?
I absolutely would.
Leverkusen
I do not like that guy.
They had such a good moment. They got, Bundesliga back. Like, they almost won Europa. They won the DFB Pokal. What does this mean for them? I don't think it's going to turn
We'll
out too
see. We'll
good.
see. I mean,
Frankfurt said, let me get that spot real quick.
That second place,
Excuse
right?
me.
Yeah. It's very interesting, man.
Bayern. Bayern's looking to sign Eze. That's fun.
Yeah,
That's
him and
what-
those. But they have enough of those.
I know.
But if Eze's
Musiala
those
just
is what now?
Musiala
wingers,
just-
wingers, bro, Jesus Christ.
What do you mean by
They have
that?
mad attacking threats.
What do you mean by that?
Moving on.
Do they need Eze?
No, they
No.
But if he would have
But they're
to be-
looking to send Sane to Spurs. So
I could see that.
Yeah.
What?
Sane's,
I
out
feel
of, Sane's out of a contract, so
Yeah.
he's already in talks with Spurs.
I could see Eze
Ew.
Champions
doing
League club?
it.
Ew.
I don't know. Eze could be doing it but you'd be depth. You wouldn't be the main guy. With Olise and Jamal Musiala.
You think
And
Salah
Gnabry and all
could do
these
well in
guys?
Italy?
Of course, Sane would do amazing in Italy.
Yeah. Sane, I think he has a second wave to his career. He just needs a new spot. But he's doing pretty good
How
at Bayern.
old is he though? He's
Must be
29? He's about
Must be
29.
29,
29, yeah. Yeah, Bayern, I mean, they did what they need to do. I think, obviously, they want vets. They want Jonathan
So
Tah.
one thing I will say, and I saw this about Bayern just quickly. Bayern is losing a little bit of their cultural cachet that they used to have.
Uh-oh.
One of the players that they really wanted to sign was Florian Wirtz. They really wanted him.
It's over?
German player, grew up as a Bayern fan. In the end, he chose the Liverpool project. What that
Wait,
says,
he chose Liverpool?
Mhm.
I didn't see no reports.
Fabrizio.
All right.
Yeah.
Keep talking.
What that says to me,
Believe, bro. Believe.
what that says to me as like someone who kind of grew up within an era where Bayern was considered a club that you almost cannot say no to, especially from a German perspective. A German player that was a star in the Bundesliga moving to Bayern is kind of a no-brainer. That's just what happened. That was kind of the brainwashing cultural cachet that Bayern had over Germans in soccer. The fact that they're no longer kind of a perennial semi-finalist in Europe and like constantly like being in that top 4 spot within European football shows that slowly Bayern is losing that cultural cachet, and I think it's kind of tough to build back.
I mean,
Because once you lose it, it's hard to grow it.
which coworker is gonna be working his job role? He's a number 9, no?
Wirtz?
Mm.
No, he's a cam. So he'll play with Musiala behind the striker, behind Kane.
I'm just thinking about competition. If he just wants more game time,
Yeah.
In Liverpool, he would.
But they brought in Matoma. That's who they went for. And then lastly, there's Dortmund, who somehow snuck into a Champions League spot.
It's a fact.
It's looking like they're going to pivot back to what Dortmund has always been, which is a youth-centered club. They're already looking at targets in Belgium and in Denmark and in Sweden and Turkey. It's what Dortmund should be. Dortmund should be a club that relies on youth and on talent, and needs to figure out a way to cultivate that youth and that talent once again. If Dortmund does that, they can go back to being the club that they've always been.
And they'll be in the Club World Cup, so we'll get to see them live and direct here in the United States.
In New York.
That's a fact. Philly they play Chelsea.
No, they play 2 games since then.
Okay. Someone plays Chelsea. Oh, Flamengo. Flamengo plays Chelsea. Yeah, we'll see, man. Bundesliga is very exciting. It's in a little bit of a turning point. Like you said, Bayern doesn't have the cultural cachet. Leverkusen came up, and now it looks like they might fall off. Dortmund's not what they used to be. Now Frankfurt's on the rise. So it's just an interesting time in Germany. Very interesting time, for sure.
All right, lovely human beings. We have a very special gift from our friends at Classic Football Shirts.
Oh,
They sent it specifically for Gabe. So, Gabe, this is for you to open.
actually?
Yeah.
Live
What is
reaction.
What is this?
Open your gift, fuck nigga.
Gift is crazy. Let's see. Alrighty. What we got here?
Yo,
What we got
look
here?
at me real quick. Look at me real quick, bro.
Huh?
What's up?
What's up? Let's see.
Oh,
Let's see. What is this, bro? The shape is crazy. Is this?
this is good rapping. I like it.
Oh shit.
That's a lot of rapper.
Hey. Oh shit. Nah, that's. Oh shit. What? Yo, no fucking way. Oh my goodness. Oh, what the fuck? I'm not trying to get it on your game. I'm just trying to-
Show the people.
Yo, what we got right here. Hold on now. We got a wine trophy. You know what I'm saying? Vino Rade Tour 2025. New York, LA, Philly.
Congratulations, brother.
Oh, I appreciate y'all, man. This is fire.
We
This is crazy, man. This is
do
crazy.
you want to explain, Seb?
There's
it
not
down.
much.
This
There's
is
not much
nuts.
to explain. I
This
was
is fire.
thinking you deserve something after. I mean, I remember you talking about it. You were like, "This is an idea that I have. This is something that I really want to exist." And so, you took an idea out of nothing and turned it into something. So
I appreciate
that's
it,
that
bro.
for you to hold in your hand and
Thank
see what
you.
you've done.
Thank you, man.
Congratulations.
This ain't the
Nah, thank
first
you,
time.
bro.
This what Gabe does, bro.
Listen,
We're
I
all
appreciate it.
proud of you, bro.
Listen,
We're
thank
proud
you
of
so much, guys. Yo, listen. Anybody out there scared to start something, go do that shit, bro. It might be tough, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you're doing events and nightlife, you know what I'm saying? There's some fake gatekeepers out there. I had a venue in LA cancel on me. I had to figure everything out 3 weeks to go. There's a lot behind the scenes that makes this very, very difficult, but it's worth it for moments like these, man. You know what I'm saying? LA, New York, sold out Philly. This was amazing. I appreciate
When's
it.
the last time you had a wine award, man?
A wine award? It's my first one, bro. I was thinking too, do I need a memorabilia for the tour? This is beautiful.
Perfect
I'm
timing.
putting this next to like my bed, bro.
That's where it belongs.
And by next year we head in London, Toronto. That you heard?
Yes,
Stop
sir.
playing.
Yes,
I
sir.
appreciate y'all. This is very cute.
Don't stop. Don't stop. You know what I mean?
Thank you. I don't stop.
Cheers.
I appreciate it. Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
Let's get out of here.
Fire. You guys are too sweet.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
This is fire as hell.
That's me. They're my 30 seconds.
This is sick, bro. It's also mad.